Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today. I'm really excited to take you through our Summer 21 release here at Aforza. My name is Nick Eales. I lead our product and development for Aforza. And over the past 4 months, we've been hard at work preparing a ton of brand new features that we think you're really going to love. And I'm really excited to talk you through them today. So what have we got on the agenda? The webinar is going to take roughly 45 minutes, and then we're going to have a bit of time for Q&A at the end. I'm going to take you through an overview of the release and then go through some of the specific features and enhancements, both on the web and planning side and the mobile execution side as well. Before I get started, though, I just want to say a big thank you. Whether you are a customer or a partner, we really appreciate all the feedback you give to us, all the feature requests you give to us. What we build in these releases is 100% down to what you need from as a consumer goods company. So we couldn't do it without you. So a big thank you for using the Aforza product and for providing such great feedback to our services and to our product team. All right, so let me go through our release. So this is our 7th major release. As everyone probably here knows, we do 3 releases a year: spring, summer, and winter. And we target specific dates, whether it's March 31st, July 31st, November 30th. And when we release across all of our customer base simultaneously. Everyone gets it within the same 5-minute window, and you get 0 downtime when you use the application as well. So for this specific release, this was our 7th one, as I mentioned. We managed to get out 100% on time, which we're really proud of. You know, when we make a commitment to you as a customer about a certain date for our features, we make sure we stick to it. So this was actually released at 11:30 p.m. GMT on July 30th, ready for you to use on July 31st, which was a Saturday if you were working on Saturday to start using the software. We actually produced nearly 500 new features and fixed some bugs in that as well. We're increasingly investing in our R&D department, our engineering department, so we can continue to build more and more features that our customers and partners need. So we're really pleased on the throughput that we're managing to put into the software now for you to take advantage of. And of course, we are providing a lot of documentation with this as well. So we try and make the software as easy to use as possible. And when you turned on the system on Monday, you probably didn't actually notice a difference because it will just work for you. But if there are admins or people that need to get a bit more into the weeds of what we've built, you can see the documentation is there to support you along with that as well. Can I just double check everyone can see my screen? So I got a little notification then saying that people could now see my screen.
Yes, Nick, that's coming through.
Perfect, thank you, Andy. All right, so as I mentioned before, we have supporting documentations. We've got extensive release notes. We've got 130 pages of documentation. So if after this call you want to know a bit more about a certain topic or a certain feature, then this documentation is available to you so you can kind of dig into the details. But it is a bit of a dry read, so I'm giving you advanced warning. Likewise, if there's a feature on here that we go into, but you'd like to see a bit more of, we're happy to do kind of one-on-one demonstrations of the new features to talk you through them in more detail. All right, so we're going to start with the foundational stuff before we get into the really exciting pieces. So the data model. So the data model really is about the new objects and new fields and data types that we support for our extensive consumer goods data model. So we made a few small changes here, nothing major. We've introduced a new object called reoccurring record. Now, this is an object you will not necessarily use on a day-to-day basis when you're using the Aforza applications, but it's there to support the functionality of reoccurring visits, which is a new feature, which I'm going to talk you through a bit later on in the presentation. But suffice to say, it's there and we can use it, but it might not be something you generally will see. We also have introduced new record types for assortments. So we allow you to create assortments that are now account-based or segment-based. Now, if you use our commercial policies or our promotion functionality, assortments will now work in the exact same way. So you can create new assortments for a specific target account or chain of accounts, and they will be taken onto the mobile device offline for you to use. Visits, we've introduced a new check-in location field. This is to support our visit check-in functionality. Before, when you did a visit check-in, it would just sync the location to the account record, but now each visit will have the check-in synced against it, which means you can start doing some really granular reporting against that. And I'm going to go through all these features in more detail later. Outlet assets. So this is how you track your products against a certain account or set of accounts. We now have a new field on there called restock quantity. And this is going to let you do what we call an audit to order. And with one click, create new orders and order items for a customer. And again, I'll demonstrate this in a bit. And on promotion, we've introduced a new field called tax percent. And this is really for managing promotion taxes with your fixed promotion types. And I'll talk you through that again. Okay, so let's go into a bit more of the exciting stuff, the trade promotion management functionality to begin with. So we made a couple of smaller improvements and enhancements to trade promotion functionality around our calendar and around promotion taxes. But then I'm going to talk to you about the designer, which is a really, really exciting new feature, which I think everyone's going to really like. So across the promotion calendar, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the calendar at this point. We've made a number of enhancements. The first is we now support both the in-store and shipment dates for your calendar. So before, when you're looking at the calendar, you'd just be looking at the effective dates of a promotion. But now you can toggle in between the different date types to give you a really good overview of when things are in store, when things are being shipped, versus when the promotion is just running generally. So that's now being supported. And I know that was a highly requested feature, so that's good. We've also made some quality of life improvements. So when you go to delete a promotion on the calendar, you now get a confirmation pop-up, so you don't accidentally just delete the promotion with a single click. And we now support multi-currency on the promotion calendar. And multi-currency is a much larger feature, which I'll talk to you about when we get there. But this essentially means that the calendar can now start viewing promotions that are in US dollars or euros or pounds or whatever currency your business and organization needs to support. We've also added additional promotion tax functionality. So you can now tax promotions in two different ways. You can either do it in a fixed manner. So if you're selling a promotion, which is, buy this bundle of products for $99, you can now set a fixed tax rate on that. So you could say the tax is 10%, and then the customer will be taxed $9.99. You can also support dynamic promotion taxes. So this is if you have a promotion where it might be a buy 5, get 1 free, but you don't know exactly what the customer is going to choose. They might choose product A, product B, or product C. In those cases, you support taxes by having tax on the individual products, and that will then roll up to the overall tax level. So really important to make sure your promotions are being taxed correctly for regulatory and for just general pricing purposes. So that's now fully supported in these two different manners. All right, and here's the really exciting thing is our new promotion designer. So this is a brand new piece of software that lets you design and build promotions in real time using a drag and drop tool. It's extremely easy to use, but gives you extremely sophisticated tools for managing the kind of the granular details of a promotion. And it lets you create a promotion in a matter of seconds or minutes, and then deploy that to your field instantaneously. So instead of talking through it on the slide, I'm going to go in, I'm going to give you a bit of a demonstration so you can see how it all works. Okay, so I'm logged into my Aforza environment here, and I'm looking at our promotion calendar, which you're all familiar with. And on here, I can see all the different promotions that I've currently got. So if I click into, let's take a look at this $99 for 15 bottles promotion. I can see the products in there. I can see any tactics, and I can see the overall performance as well. Likewise, if I click into the buy 5, get 1 free, I can see the different soft drinks that we're selling, the free soft drink tactic, and the performance. So this is a great overview and lets me do some really good analysis of all the promotions I'm running But what if I want to get into the details? What if I want to see a bit more information about that promotion? So I can simply click on the promotion and then click on the name of it. And this is going to take me into the new promotion designer view. And on here, I get all the details I need to understand exactly what that promotion entails. So I can see across the top all of my details about the promotion, the type of promotion it is, any code or description we've given it, the price book that we usually use for this promotion, whether it's active, the date ranges, the type, is this available for order? And then below that in this tab, we can see the different groups and products that we're selling as part of this promotion. So I can see there's a get a free bottle of premium blend. And in that, you can see the product itself. You can see we're doing 100% off on this. So that's the discount to make it free. And then we've got this other group here, which is when you spend at least $100 on standard. And we can see here, we have to spend at least $100 on this product for the promotion to be accurate. So this is great, but what if I wanted to change something? I can click on edit, and this now takes me to the edit mode. And on here, I can go and I can change any of the details at the top, but I can also change any of these details at the bottom here. So if I wanted to, I could say, actually, I want this to be, you have to spend $200. I could simply update that. And I don't want it to just be on the standard blend. I also want the fresh blend to be included in that as well. So I can simply drag and drop the product from the right-hand side into the designer and add it to the group. And now it's actually going to be $200 across these two products here. But what if I wanted to add a brand new group? Let's say I wanted to add some ice cream to this promotion. I can simply drag and drop, again, the product or the category onto the new group area. And this creates my new group. And I can continue adding products SKU by SKU, or I could simply just add the category of product in there. And perhaps I want to make this, and get 50% off ice cream, because who doesn't like ice cream? And I can find the tactic on my right here. So I want a 50% off tactic. And when I search for it, I get my tactics there. I can see my 50% automatic discount. I'm going to drag that onto my group. I could also drag it onto the individual products if I wanted to have different discounts for each product. I'm going to put it on the group for now. And if I click done, that promotion has now been updated. And the next time somebody orders this promotion, they're going to get this brand new experience. So to give you an example, if I go into our order capture, and I can see the promotion here, which is the get the free premium when you spend $100. If I click that now, it's going to be the brand new experience where I now actually have to spend $200, and I can choose to spend it on the fresh blend as well as the standard blend. So I'm going to order some of those. And I also get 50% off ice cream. So here are the two different ice cream flavors I added, and I can add those to the cart, and you can see I get 50% off discounted. So it's extremely quick and extremely easy just to modify a promotion like that. What if I wanted to create a new one from scratch? That's also really easy. So I could use the promotion calendar like I've done in the past to simply drag and drop a product. So let's do a soft drinks promotion, for instance. And this lets me enter the details really quickly. So I'm going to do a soft drinks promotion for this account and add that to the calendar. So that was one click, and it's now here. But what if I wanted to then modify it a bit, add some additional details? I can click through into my designer, and just like before, I can now completely update this and customize it. So I could say 20% off soft drinks, and I'm going to pull on my 20% off tactic. And I also want to do a free ice cream. And we're just going to let them have one free ice cream. So we're just going to do 1, 1, 1, and we're going to apply our 100% discount. And again, just like that, that promotion is now available to use because it's in the available to order state. So if I was to go back to my order capture, I was going to refresh this order. We can now see this new soft drinks promotion has been added here in my eligible promotions. And if I click that, I can see my 20% off soft drinks and my free ice cream. I'm only allowed one of those. And I can add that to the cart. So hopefully that's shown you how quick and how easy it is to use this designer. And really, I've only kind of shown you the tip of the iceberg there. You can create any different permutation of promotion you want there. You can have buy 5, get 1, buy X, get X free, 20% off products, spend at least X dollars, take this piece of merchandise and then you get free items. Really, the choice is yours. You can make the most sophisticated, complex promotions you want, or just super simple ones. But no matter what you're doing, it's now extremely quick and easy to do it all from a single page. Cool. All right. So let's go back to the slides. So we've got a lot more to get through. So the next topic I want to talk to you about is our agenda builder. So the agenda builder is our great calendar for managing customer visits and the tasks that the customer does, that a sales rep has to do at those visits. And we've introduced a number of new enhancements here. The first is we now have machine learning based visit and task recommendations. So now when you're organizing your visits, either as a sales rep or as a sales rep manager, you can click on there and you can get real AI predictions coming through on which store a sales rep should be visiting on any given day. And these predictions are driven by things like likelihood of a customer to place an order on that day. Have we not visited that customer in a while? Have we been visiting that customer every month? So we know that we typically visit them on this day of the month. So all of this information is being processed by our machine learning and the Aforza predict tools. And it's coming back with these recommendations that you can just leverage within the agenda builder. Along with this, we've introduced a new feature called recurring visits. So before, if you created a route or a visit and you put that in the calendar, you would then have to reschedule that manually, every month or every quarter, depending on where you wanted your sales reps to go. We've now introduced the concept of a recurring visit, where you can actually set a reoccurring amount to a visit so that they have to do that visit every week or every 2 weeks for the entire year or for 2 years or a quarter. It's completely up to you. So if you think about scheduling a meeting in your calendar application, very, very similar here to how that works. And then there's just some general improvements as well. So we've made some updates to the calendar header so it's easier to use. The pop-up calendar has some additional highlighting. Our visit scheduling is getting more accurate as well, based on optimizing our algorithms that we're using for our route planning. And there's just a number of usability improvements. So let me give you a little demonstration of how this all looks. So I'm going to visit planning now. So I can see here I'm on my agenda builder, and I can see all the different sales reps that I manage. And everyone's got a pretty empty calendar at the moment, which isn't great. But if I click on here, we can see that I can quickly schedule a route, an account visit, or I can go to the recommended tab. And here we can now see new recommendations coming in at the top here of visits that we're expecting this sales rep to perform today. So we can see there's a 95% chance that this sales rep should be visiting this Fresh Start shop at Southeast today. And I can click on that and that will simply create the new visit for me. And it's also going to create all of these different tasks based on previous visits. So we know we need to do a stock check, we need to do a merchandise review, and then they're going to be low stock at this point. So we know they're going to have to place a new order for stock. And along with those tasks, we're also coming back with tasks we're not quite sure about, but we think might be useful, like doing a competitor intel audit or doing an invoice status check, etc. So I can add these new tasks on, and I can create, what I think is the perfect visit for this customer. And when I'm happy with that, maybe I want to make it slightly longer for this customer. Maybe I want to put it at 11 instead of 10. But when I'm happy with that, I can click into the visit again, and I can see this doesn't repeat tab. But when I click that, it's now going to ask me to set up a reoccurrence. So I can say, actually, this visit, I want them to do it weekly. And we want them to do it, let's say 6 times because we don't want them doing it all year. We just want to make a big effort for this store because it's a newly opened store. So we want to make a big effort for the first 6 weeks. And when I click that, it's going to take that visit and it's going to copy it and it's going to set up it as a new reoccurring visit. So if I was to click into Sophie's calendar here, we can see the visit that we scheduled ourselves. But then we can click through, and if I get to next Wednesday, we're going to see that same visit is now set as reoccurring. And again, I could do this, go through for 6 weeks to Wednesday, and we can see it's here and it's been updated. But let's say you wanted to make a change halfway through. So you've done a few of those visits, but now on Wednesday, you decided actually an hour is not quite long enough. I need to make it 2 hours to properly do my job at that store, or I need to make it shorter. As I grow and change that, we now get a little modal that says, actually, we just want to change this visit, or we want to change this visit and all of the following subsequent visits. So again, just like you would experience on a calendar application when you're changing a meeting invite, this allows you to change just the one visit or all of the other visits as well. And the same functionality is included if you try and delete it. So if I was to delete it, it would ask if it's just that visit or following visits. And you can also reassign your visit. So I could move this to be a different sales rep's responsibility, and it will reassign all of the reoccurring visits as well. So really, really fully fleshed out functionality here. And this is really just an area we're just getting started on. We want this agenda builder to be almost like a set it and forget it. You set up your routes, you set up your visits, and you say, yep, that's great. Just do that for the next year, right? We want to make it as easy as that to just bulk load in your visits and have them reoccurring. So you never have to worry about going in and creating visits ever again, unless you want to go in and optimize. So that's kind of our vision. And this is a really good first step into improving that as well. Okay, so what have we got next? The route planner. So we made a few small enhancements to the route planner. Firstly, the home page where you view your list of your routes and your favorite routes, we've added in pagination or lazy loading, which means you can now support thousands of routes if you need to, and you'll be able to scroll down and search through the page, and it'll continue loading these in a really optimized way. So you can page through your 1,000 different routes very, very quickly and easily. We've improved the searching. So the searching is a lot more optimized. It's going to find a lot more of the routes based on what you're searching for. We've introduced filters. So you can start filtering your routes based on various criteria. And there's also ordering capability in here as well. So you can start sorting the routes by name or date, etc. And then we've also made some general improvements behind the scenes as well. So as I mentioned before, our distance and durations are now more accurate. We're actually storing them on a per location basis, as opposed to just storing them across the entire route. So you're going to see more accurate scheduling and driving duration instructions when you're scheduling your visits from a route. We also support deleting accounts. So before, if you had a route with 200 stops in it and you deleted an account from the system, the route would still work, but it just wouldn't perform as well as you would hope it would. It would kind of skip a step, and then there'd be differences in the driving durations, etc. So now we fully support deleting a customer account if you need to, and all of your routes will kind of reorganize themselves and make sure they're still good. And we've also opened this up to all Aforza permission set users. So before, you could only visit the route page if you were an Aforza plan user, but now you can be an Aforza visit user and you'll still be able to view and modify routes as well. And order capture, we made a few general improvements as well in here. So still the same great user interface we introduced a couple of releases ago, but now we also allow you to properly visualize return orders in this interface with negative quantities and negative unit prices. As I mentioned before, we now support account-based assortments. So along with your segment assortments, you can now get your specific account-based assortments in here as well. Promotion taxes are fully supported in here, and of course, multi-currency. And again, we'll talk about multi-currency in a little bit because it's a big feature. So we'll talk about it right now. So multi-currency is a bit of a hot topic. It's a really useful, really interesting feature that's going to be, I think, extremely useful to our customer base as you scale up your use of Aforza. So in a nutshell, multi-currency allows you to use different currencies within the same Aforza environment. So if you're using US dollars as your primary currency, but then you also want to use euros, or you also want to transact in pounds or any other currency you want, you can now do that from one environment. So you can enable as many currencies as you like, and you set the exchange rates, and the system will now just work with those currencies as you'd hope it would. So it's supported across all of the Aforza objects. So whether you are creating orders, whether you are managing your accounts, whether you are sorting your promotions out, every one of those records can now have a currency assigned to it, and that is their master currency. It's supported across all of the Aforza applications. So whether you're capturing an order or you're in the promotion calendar or the promotion designer, you will have the ability to support multi-currency in those environments. It's supported in our pricing and promotion engines. So when you send a pricing request, when you're capturing an order, multiple currencies, multiple types of currencies will now work with that. And it's also supported in mobile. So in mobile, what happens is your user will have a specific currency. So your sales rep might be a US dollar sales rep or a euro sales rep, and they will get all the specific pricing information and currency information they need to manage against their primary currency. So I'll give you a quick view of how this looks in the system. It's not the most exciting of demonstrations because it's just changing the currency, but it's worthwhile, and I think, again, extremely useful. So just a number of areas within the system where multi-currency can be viewed. So the first is your price books. So when you're setting up multi-currency, you want to have multiple price books for obvious reasons. You need to have a euro price book, a dollar price book, etc. So you can now create multiple price books, and each of these price books will then have product entries against them in the various different currencies you want to support. When I'm creating orders, orders now have a currency field on them. So if I look at the currency field here, you can see this order is in US dollars. And if I go and configure this order using the Aforza configuration page, you can see on the left-hand side here, all of my products are in dollars. Everything I add to the cart is in dollars. All the discounts and pricing is done in dollars. So it's completely supported. But then if I look at a different order, this order is in Great British pounds. So when I go to configure this one, I will get a completely different set of products based on the different price books that are supported for pounds. Everything will obviously be in pounds and be a different amount to our dollar currency price books. And when you add things to the cart, they're all in pounds and discounted in pounds. So you can have different customers in different regions or that need to transact in different currencies, and you can support both of those from the single environment. So pretty easy to set up, actually. There is some consideration you have to do when you enable multi-currency. So I wouldn't just switch it on straight away. I'd consult with us about what are the considerations to note. But once you switch it on, it just starts working. There's no real additional setup needed other than managing your price books and your customer accounts. As I mentioned, it works in everything. So here on the promotion calendar, if I look at one of these promotions and click on performance, we can see this is a pound-based promotion. So it's all in pounds, our revenues and our margins. Whereas one of these other promotions here, this one is a US dollar-based promotion. So everything appears in US dollars. Now, the reason you get a US dollar sign here is because my user is a pound user. So whenever I see a different currency, I get the longer form of that currency, so I know exactly what type of currency it is. Because you might have Canadian dollars, you might have Australian dollars. So I need to know as a pound user that this is a US dollar promotion. So like I said, not the most exciting of demonstrations, but the implications of what you can do with this are pretty far reaching. So as you grow as a company, as you grow in your usage of Aforza, if you want to start rolling out in other nations, or you want to start supporting other customer bases that you have, you can now do that very, very quickly and easily. Let's go back to our slides. All right, what's next? Okay, omnichannel pricing. So this is a really exciting piece as well. Excuse me. So we've introduced, and this is a bit more of a technical piece. So apologies if this is a bit too technical, but it's a really exciting feature, and I think all of our customers will definitely want to utilize this. But I do have to go slightly more techie for this part of the presentation. So our pricing APIs are essentially a way of connecting to our pricing engine. So we use our pricing engine for doing our mobile pricing, for doing our telesales pricing. Whenever you create an order in the Aforza system, it calls our pricing engine, and that's what gives you the exact price, the discount, the correct assortments that you're allowed to sell, the correct commercial policies this customer is allowed. All that's managed by our pricing engine. And before, our pricing engine was kind of locked away behind the scenes so that only the Aforza specific screens could use it. So you had to use the Aforza mobile app, or you had to use the Aforza telesales configuration page to really utilize and to take advantage of that pricing engine. But what we've done in this new release is we've opened that up for everyone. So you can now use the exact same pricing engine and the same tools that we use internally at Aforza to make your own pricing functionality, to make your own user interfaces. So I'll give you some examples afterwards, but suffice to say, it's extremely easy to use. There's a couple of calls that you can make in Salesforce. You can make like a setup order call, add a product to an order, price this entire order, change the quantity of a product. All of these are extremely easy to use within the Apex programming language that Salesforce gives you. And it gives you that full amount of capabilities you need to create an order from scratch, or to price an order that's come in from an integration from an EDI. So say you're taking orders in via EDI, you can now click a button or set it so it automatically price that order using the Aforza pricing engine when it comes into the system. And to give you some examples of where you could use this. So perhaps you want to use it in an e-commerce portal. So maybe you want to leverage the Aforza's e-commerce capability and use it on that, or you have an existing third-party e-commerce experience and you simply want to use the Aforza pricing and have that surfaced within the e-commerce portal. You can now do that. You might have a legacy mobile application that you want to use alongside Aforza's mobile app, and you want to have some pricing information or orders surfaced in there. You can now do that. You might want to create your own telesales components. Maybe you don't quite like the Aforza telesales components. You want to customize it a bit. You can do that. EDI integrations, really anything you have, you can now add Aforza pricing behind the scenes to fully support that, which is fantastic for customization and flexibility. And what happens? How does it work? So let's say you are a bar owner and you're using the customers, so you're a bar owner using one of the Aforza customers' e-commerce portals to place an order. The customer will create an order in the website. That will send a message to the Aforza pricing APIs built on the Salesforce platform. And the Aforza pricing APIs will go away and say, hey, they want to price a new order. Let's go to our pricing engine. We're going to send all of the products and all of the discount rules and all of the assortments to the pricing engine. The pricing engine says, great, here are your new priced order items. And we send that all the way back to the customer. So they get a brand new priced order. And that includes all the discounts, the taxes, the bundles, the assortments, the policies. And from the customer perspective, this is them just clicking a single button, and this will be done in under half a second. So you now have the ability to create a single unified product catalog and pricing catalog in Aforza and have that exposed to all of your channels. And we at Aforza are going to continue building pre-built components for e-commerce, for telesales, for mobile that will use the pricing engine, but you no longer have to depend on just our components. You can go and you can build your own if you want to as well. So really exciting new feature. And over time, we're going to introduce all of our engines in this way. So our segmentation engine, our promotion engines, our recommendation and Aforza predict engines, everything is going to be open to you. So I think this is a topic that probably warrants discussion on a customer by customer basis, but I wanted to make sure everyone saw it and saw the power of what we're doing here. Okay, so we're about halfway through. Let's go through mobile. We'll speed up a little bit. So we made some huge enhancements to mobile. I mean, mobile is half our engineering team is working on mobile at any given time, and it's a strategic and extremely important part of our product portfolio. So with every release, we make fundamental architecture improvements, which increases the robustness of the application, the reliability of the application, the performance of the application. Every single release, we're making these. So release on release, you're just going to notice the app getting faster. You're going to notice it's more robust. You're going to notice new quality of life improvements like the app info page, which I'll show you. And it's just generally going to get better and better. It's never going to stop. And obviously in mobile, we're also supporting multi-currency in this release as well. So the one feature I wanted to call out here is the app info page. This is a new tool that is optional, but it's really for partners or customer admins to diagnose and configure an app a bit more easily. So if I swap over to my app, which is way over here, I'm using my tablet for this demonstration. You can notice down the bottom left, there's a new app info button. This can be hidden or displayed depending on what you prefer. But when I click that, it's going to give me details about the application, details about my device. So how much storage space do I have? What version am I running? And then below that in the data section, I can actually see every single record that's been synced to my device. So this is really useful if you're experiencing extremely long sync times, you're trying to figure out what's going on. You can quickly see if there's any bottlenecks here. So maybe you've got, I don't know, 100,000 assortments coming down, or 20,000 commercial policies. You're going to be able to optimize it based on just a quick glance at this list. We also have this shared diagnostic file button. So if you do have some sort of issue with the application, which knock on wood you won't, because it's extremely robust at the moment. But if you do, you can click share diagnostic file, and this will let you basically send a long diagnostic file to Aforza support, which will help us diagnose your issue a bit quicker than before. Let's go all the way back to my slides. So other enhancements we made. So we made behind the scenes sync enhancements, again, improving the robustness and reliability of your syncs. Just a couple of the highlights here. We've made some improvements to the dropped connection support. So let's say you are driving, you start a sync and then you go into a tunnel and you lose your connection, or you just have really patchy cell service. We will handle those dropped connections every time now. So it will know the connection's dropped. It will make sure your local data is backed up and saved. It will retry when the connection comes back on again. So we've got a full sync retrying logic in there. So if something fails, whether it's an error or a validation rule, or like I said, the dropped connection, there's logic around retrying those syncs. You're going to get smarter sync errors. So if something does go wrong, hopefully it'll be a bit more easy to understand what's going on, and a lot of other behind the scenes things to make syncs a lot more reliable. So again, this is one of those areas that we improve release on release. So what you see today will be much improved even in 4 months' time, and much improved on after that as well. So it's a continued evolution of improving our robustness and our reliability, just to make sure that you guys have the best mobile experience possible. Mobile configuration. So we've made the app even more configurable, increasing the flexibility for our customers and partners. So we've introduced visit filtering, so you can actually choose exactly how many visits and what visits get synced to the device. So if you want to have a full years of visits to the device, you can. If you want to have all of your sales reps visits, if you're a manager, come into the device, you can do that. You can completely configure it how you want to. We have something called Smart Actions, which I'll talk about in a bit. You can automatically download all the files to the device now instead of having to click them one by one. You can add or remove tabs to the account page. So I know some of our customers aren't using orders, so you can remove the orders tab, and other things like that. So there's a whole host of features we've introduced here. And again, this is an area, release on release, we're going to give you much more and more mobile flexibility, so you can tweak it to make it extremely perfect for your use case. Again, tablet UI. So I'm using the tablet today. I'll give you a little demonstration of some of this stuff in a minute. But we're continuing to improve the tablet UI. Some of the notable enhancements. We've introduced multiple column support for the detail pages and custom object pages, just to take better advantage of the largest screen real estate. We've introduced a new sidebar to audits, make it really quick and easy to update on a tablet when you're doing an audit. We've also introduced a new promotion execution UI. So before it was kind of in a sidebar, we've now expanded and elevated that into a modal to improve the user experience when you're configuring a promotion in mobile. And then the last thing, and then I'll go into a demonstration. So smart actions. So this is a really interesting new feature, and I think this is going to add a lot of flexibility and a lot of value to all of our customers. So smart actions are simply a way of telling the mobile app that you want to either call Salesforce and do some sort of custom logic, which might be something like a credit check, it might be an order validation or a stock check, or any other custom logic you want. Or it's a way of telling the application that at this point in the process, I want to go into a different app. So maybe when I'm doing an order and I'm about to collect payment, I want to go to PayPal, or I want to go to Square, or any other mobile payment provider that you have an app for. You can now tell the application, hey, at this point, click this button, and I'm going to defer the payment to this other application. Or it might be something like, hey, when I'm speaking to a customer, I want to be able to send them a WhatsApp message. So from their contact page, I can simply send them a WhatsApp. Or I want to push this order detail to our company's Slack messaging service. You can do that. So any sort of mobile application, whether it's analytics, payments, messaging, anything at all, you can now tell the application at this point in the process, we're going to defer to this other app. And then once we're done, we're going to come back into Aforza. And this can all be set up through configuration. So this is extremely powerful because it means you no longer have to rely on just what Aforza gives you out of the box. You can use your existing application landscape, your architecture landscape, to connect other applications into the story. So very, very powerful. And you can also link out to websites, which is kind of the bottom feature there. But if you want to link to a company's web page or go to one of your internal hosted web pages, you can also kind of kick out to those as well. For things like the custom logic, like I said, we support things like credit checks, stock checks. You can write your own. And what it will do is it will call out to Salesforce. It'll say, hey, please check the credit for this customer. It'll do the custom logic check. And then it'll come back and say either yes or no. Yes, the credit's fine, or no, there's a problem. They don't have enough credit. We recommend you do X, Y, or Z. And of course, you can also call external services. So if I'm validating an order or doing a credit check, we call Salesforce, but then maybe you need to check in your backend ERP or some other legacy system you're using. You can do that all as part of this end-to-end process. Okay, a lot to take in. I'm going quite fast because I know we're running out of time. I'm going to do a few more slides. I'm going to give you a nice end-to-end demonstration on mobile. So on audits, we made some big improvements here. So we now allow you to capture photos as part of an audit against your audit assets, which is a highly requested feature. So that's now available. We also have the new feature called Audit to Order. And this allows you to quickly, with one click, create an order, have it priced, have it checked for eligibility off the back of an audit. We have audit recommendations. We have the side panel support, like I said before, and we've got this overview page. So let me give you a demonstration of this stuff. All right, so I'm here on my mobile app. I'm using a tablet in this case. I'm in the middle of a visit, but I just want to show you the account details. So on the account details page, you can see we now make much better use of the tablet space. You can lay out your section, your layout in sections. So I can see I've got a contact information section, a shipping address section, a billing address section. So you have a lot more customization control over here, and it all responds very nicely to the tablet UI. On the visit page itself, I'm going to go ahead and click on this stock check. And this is going to let me start a stock audit. So now on the tablet, I can see all the different items that I might need to audit. I can see there's the ability to capture a photo on there. And I can click on the edit icon, and this is going to open up our new side panel. And the side panel lets you quickly and easily select you know, the different fields, the different status that you need to, whether it's shelf details or pricing or your photos, and all of this is completely configurable. So I can update an audit, gets checked off there, and I can go through and do them one by one, but I can also just swipe across. And when I swipe across, it's just going to track that nothing's changed on that asset, and we don't need to update anything here as part of the audit. And once I've checked off the ones I need to check off, I can go and confirm it. And this now takes me to my overview page. And I can see that I've assessed 6 products, 6 of them are low in stock, 0 of them are out of stock. And I've got a recommendation that I should reorder those low stock items. So I can simply submit the audit, just finish the audit, or I can submit it and create a brand new order off the back of it. So I'm going to go and submit an order. And with one click, we can now see that this order has been created and all of those low stock items have been restocked up to the quantity we've defined for that customer. They've all been priced. All of the existing bundles and discounts have been applied. So the customer is getting the best deal for them possible using their trade agreements and their assortments. And if I want to, I can do an upsell. So maybe I want to go in and I can add a promotion. And if I scroll down here, I can see that soft drinks promotion that I just created earlier in the demonstration. And I can add that. And I can see I got those 20% off those soft drinks, just like I was online. And I get my free ice cream flavor. I can only add the one. It won't let me add more. And I can confirm that selection, add the promotion. And now I've just upsold them my brand new promotion that was designed literally 30 minutes ago as part of this demonstration. I can go and complete that order now. And when I complete the order, perhaps at this point, I need to do some checks. Maybe I need to validate the order in an ERP system. Maybe I need to do a credit check. And I can see here in the top right, I now have the ability to do those. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a quick credit check. And it's just made a real-time call and it said, yeah, the customer has enough credit for the order. The remaining credit is $4,000. So we're good to proceed. So I can capture the customer signature, very terrible signature, confirm the order. And we can now see there on the task list, we've checked off the stock audit and we've created that brand new order at the bottom there with the date. We've done the credit check and we're ready to continue with the rest of the visit. So really high level, really quick demonstration of rush through there, but hopefully that's giving you a good view of some of those features that I was just talking about. So I hate just doing slides. I like to show you the product working because it works so well. I think we have a couple more slides, then we can go to Q&A. So just very quickly, so visit execution, we made some quality of life improvements. As mentioned before, every time you check in now, the location is stored on the visit record, so you can start reporting on that, doing analysis, auto downloading visit resources. We also now use the native resource file viewer. So when you open up a PDF or a PowerPoint, it's now going to use your Android or your iOS file viewer instead of the Aforza one that we built. This means you're going to have a lot more performant use of it, and it's going to give you a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can do with it. So you can see on the little screenshot there, that PDF I could have printed, I could have sent to any of my different applications, I could have sent it to my contacts. So it's just going to use the native device supports. Whatever you have on your device, it will support it. Payment collections, we've introduced a new date and type field. This is to give you additional flexibility around when you collect the payment, what type of payment it is, and make sure you've got the audit history in place there. This is an area we're going to continue improving. We're going to make this more flexible in coming releases. And then order capture, I've just shown it to you, but you saw the new promotion execution modal. We now support auto add and delete in mobile, which is something we introduced last release for web. So this is if I add something like a fridge or gondola, we can now auto add products to the cart as well as part of that, and they get priced correctly. And then promotion taxes and account-based assortments, as you'd expect. Oops. And then a couple last little slides, and we can go to Q&A. So these are just kind of the miscellaneous things. So we're making it easy to solve configuration issues. So our error handling is getting better and better. So whenever you get an error in the system now, you're going to get a little error code. And this will hopefully give you a much better idea of what's going on. And it will also help us and our support team find that issue quicker and solve it. So, you know, knock on wood, you're not going to find any issues. But if you do, we're going to be able to support you a lot quicker and make sure we get it fixed up for you in a very proactive manner. And then localization. So we're continuing to add more language support. In this release, we added both Chinese simplified and Chinese traditional, Arabic and Turkish. In fact, Arabic actually gives us our first kind of beta release of right to left support. So if you turn Arabic on, all of our components across web and some of them in mobile are going to go right to left. So it's a bit of a beta release for that right now. But we'd love our right to left language customers to take a look and tell us where we can improve there. But it looks pretty good so far. If you need a new language supported, just let us know. We can do it outside of a release schedule. It doesn't need to be done every 4 months. So if you are looking to move into a different geography, or your sales reps use a language that we haven't currently translated yet, just let us know and we can turn that around for you in about 2 weeks. We're just doing it bit by bit as our customer base grows. So with that, I'll say thank you. I've rushed through a lot of stuff there and appreciate that you might want to go into a bit more detail on some of these things. As I mentioned before, documentation release notes has everything in it, and we're more than happy to do some one-on-one demonstrations to kind of talk through these new features. But with that, I think I'm going to go to Q&A. So I think we've got some questions coming in. Got quite a few here. Okay, so can we link currency per company? So great question. So the answer is yes. You can have default currencies for each of your customers, and they will then, that will be the default currency used when you're placing orders for that customers. You don't need to do it. You could just have a customer that's just generic, and you place orders in dollars, pounds, or euros with that customer. But yep, you can have a currency per customer. We've got a question on different currencies that are supported. So all currencies that the Salesforce platform supports, we support, and they have a very, very long list. So I would just simply Google Salesforce currencies, or in your Aforza environment, just click on manage currencies, and you'll see the currencies that are supported. But I'd be surprised if there was a currency that we didn't support. Everything should be supported in there out of the box. If there's something that's not, then just let us know. We can figure out why that's the case. I've got a question on Aforza's e-commerce capability. So it's a great question. So Aforza, as I mentioned before, has this great omnichannel pricing engine. It's now open, so you guys can use it as well. Aforza does have some great e-commerce capability, which we're improving in the next couple of releases. So we offer you full self-service, business-to-business portal or community type experiences. So your customers can log into a branded portal, and from there they can manage their accounts, their invoices, their payments, and they could place new orders as well. And when they place that new order, it could be priced using the Aforza pricing engine. So that is all available today. And what we're going to be doing over the next coming releases is improving that with additional Aforza UI components. So a big, maybe a more graphical product catalog view, something similar you get to an online, retailer. More configuration around, promotion capabilities in e-commerce. So that's something we're going to continue expanding on in the coming releases. But yeah, there's a great e-commerce capability there today available for customers that want it. And then a few more questions here. So I'm just reading this one. Can you use the new custom logic of the app to print a receipt of the order? This is because mobile printers on iOS tend to not have AirPrint capabilities, so the OS print does not work. So we've done this for a number of our customers. I know of the issue you speak of. It's thermal printers don't play as nicely with iOS out of the box, but we have actually managed to connect Aforza to thermal printers using a number of different strategies. So it's probably a bit too in-depth to go to on the call, but yes, we can support that, and perhaps reach out to your account executive and we can talk you through how we did that for other customers. And then, sorry, I'm just having to read the questions as they come in. When will the release actually be out, and when will the mobile applications be updated? So the release comes out on the 31st of July, which was last Saturday. So our releases are March 31st, July 31st, November 30th, and they get released on that day. We'll typically release them out of office hours, out of business hours. So there's no impact to you or no potential impact to you. And we will typically release them around midnight. So they're all available now. The mobile applications are available at the same time the Salesforce update goes out. And going forward, you'll start to see release notifications about the time that we're going to do the releases. And if there's any issue with that time, we can do one-off changes to the deployment time to make sure we don't overlap with any business critical time period for you as the customer. Is there additional cost for the promotion designer? No, as long as you have the promotions included in your license, you can use the promotion designer. So it's just net new functionality available to you. And this is kind of our ethos when we're building features is, we just want to give you continued innovation, continued functionality on top of your existing subscription. So you're paying a subscription to us, so you're going to get continued enhancements specifically for consumer goods that you'll be able to take advantage of. And if there's a new feature that we do charge for in the future, because it's perhaps a brand new capability or brand new business unit, we'll let you know. But everything I'm talking you through today will typically be available. But again, maybe best to speak to your account executive about that. I'm not the sales guy. And I think that's all we got. So right on time, bit longer than I was hoping, but hopefully you found it useful. We're going to do one of these for every single release. And if you have any further questions or want to go a bit of a deeper dive into a product area, please just reach out to us. We're more than happy to go into more detail. And hopefully you've seen something you like today. And as I said at the start, any feedback you've got, we greatly appreciate. These sessions are really for you, and the features we're building are for you. So the more you tell us what you want, the better these releases will be for you going forward. So thank you for that. And I think, Andy, I think we can close up the webinar.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick.